Listen, I like the Michael Bay Transformers movies. I think they are fun films with well-directed action set pieces. Are they actually good films? Well,
Hold on.
Yo, Papa, bad news, bro. Ran out of toilet paper. You got me out here for something, sir.
Say my name, say my name.
that's debatable. I think the first 2007 film is actually a remarkably well-made action film with a fairly fun and focused story about a boy who buys a car, falls in love with Megan Fox, and gets stuck in the middle of an intergalactic war with giant robots. Although I would like to state for the record that the original 1986 animated Transformers movie is a million times better than the live-action films. I did a video on it a while back if you want to check that out. Link is in the description. Thanks. After the 2007 film, I tend to just watch Transformers 2 through 5 for the action and to occasionally laugh at the insanity that is a Michael Bay film. Of course, Bumblebee remedied the sinking ship that Bay was desperately trying to pour water out of by the time he got to the last night, and gave us a fun and genuine Transformers story that felt just like an episode from the original cartoon. Bumblebee also gave us the best opening 10 minutes in cinematic history, only to blue balls for the rest of the film, although it did manage to convert some Generation 1 diehards with the revised designs. But for now, we're going back in time to discuss the Transformers movie from 2009 that nobody likes, also known as Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Except today, I'm looking at a version of the film that most of you probably haven't seen. I am of course talking about Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, the big screen edition, also known as the IMAX cut. When it debuted, Revenge of the Fallen was simultaneously released and shown in the IMAX format with the standard theatrical release. This was in 2009, so there is a good chance that some of you watching right now actually got to see the film in IMAX. Although I'm sure for most of you watching, you watched this movie in a normal cinema. You should be grateful you got to watch it in cinemas at all. I was too young to even watch it when it came out, and the closest IMAX theater to me is a 10-hour drive away. So there was no way I could have seen this movie in IMAX. The kicker here though is that the IMAX version of Revenge of the Fallen is actually a different cut of the movie than the standard theatrical release, with altered scenes paired with the change aspect ratio. Of course, there is no way to watch this movie in IMAX now because, surprise, IMAX cinemas aren't still showing a film that's 13 years old. 13 years old? Jesus Christ, I'm gonna die soon. Nobody told me this movie was going to make me question my mortality.
Gotta wonder. God made us in his image. Who made him?
But wait, there is actually still a way to watch this cut of the movie. This, my friends, is the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Big Screen Edition. This Blu-ray contains the exact same cut that was shown in IMAX cinemas back in 2009 with the extended scenes and all. What is the difference between this and the standard cut of the movie on the plain old Blu-ray? Not f***ing much. The IMAX cut of the film is almost the exact same length as the standard theatrical cut. There are extended shots in the IMAX cut, but they make up less than a whole minute. The extended shots and IMAX ratio are also only present in 2 scenes of the film, the forest fight and the Devastator combination sequence. The extended shots in these scenes are barely noticeable and are mostly extended just by letting shots hold for a moment longer. So, would I really call this an extended cut? Well, no, but this is called the big screen edition, not the extended cut. If anything, these slight extensions are just a nice little bonus. I'm not going to explain the extended shots here, but I've put a link in the description for an in-depth review of them. The real value of this release is the IMAX ratio. Like I said, only 2 scenes are in IMAX, but god damn, they picked the 2 scenes that benefit the most from the IMAX format. First of all, using the larger ratio for the Devastator combination works incredibly well. This guy is massive and the IMAX ratio only reinforces this. This is a scene that benefits from an improved sense of scale, and with the picture filling the whole screen, Devastator also fills the picture as a beast of his size should. It turns the scene into more of a spectacle than the chaotic and disorienting experience you get when you view the scene in the cropped aspect ratio. Although, it's a crime against humanity for not showing this integral scene in IMAX.
I am directly below the enemy scrotum.
It works, and it's awesome, but the main reason I bought this Blu-ray was to see the forest fight in IMAX. I don't care what you think of this movie, the forest fight is kick-ass. This scene is incredible in the theatrical ratio, but the IMAX ratio takes it to another level. I mean, it's a longer, bigger, and better version of an already great scene. The IMAX ratio is great for conveying the full scope of the action in the scene and presents it in a more cohesive fashion. I was taken aback when the ratio shifted into IMAX and filled up my entire TV screen. And while I'm on the topic, yes, there is some back and forth between the IMAX and theatrical ratios, but not to the point where it's distracting. These movies are big, loud, and in your face. The bigger image gives you the experience that these movies aim for. I mean, just look at it.
You'll never stop at one. I'll take you all on.
Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! Holy shit! Holy shit! Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! Holy shit! Holy fucking shit! It's happening! Yes! 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 Yes!
Sam, where are you?
No! 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 Fuck! Shit!
The sense of scale and breathing room given to the scene by the IMAX ratio just makes the scene work better. Look, I'm running out of ways to say it, but what I'm saying is that the bigger picture improves this film because the action is easier to follow and we aren't forced into a compromised viewing experience. Pair that with the crisp CGI and clean picture that IMAX film and Blu-ray provides, and this is one of the best looking pieces of film you can buy on disc. Okay, so the movie is slightly longer and there are 2 scenes that fill up your TV screen. Is this addition really all that important or better than the original version? Well, yeah, it is, and for reasons beyond the actual movie itself. The original 2007 Transformers film also received an IMAX cut that was released to cinemas in 2007 after the original theatrical run. This cut included never-before-seen footage that added 2 minutes to the film's runtime. Although, the added footage mostly consists of scenes with the human characters with some second-long extensions to a couple of action scenes. Additionally, the whole film was also remastered for IMAX presentation. Unlike Revenge of the Fallen's IMAX cut, however, the IMAX version of the 2007 film was never released on home media and cannot be found anywhere to this day. If you want more info, Trans Theories did a great video on it, which I'll put in the description below. All the Transformers films released after Revenge of the Fallen had theatrical IMAX releases and were mastered for the IMAX format. However, none of these IMAX versions featured different footage or changes to the standard theatrical release. As for the home media releases for the rest of the live action films, only The Last Night is displayed in its original IMAX ratio, along with 50 million others. Apparently, the 3D Blu-ray for Age of Extinction has the film's original IMAX ratio for the scenes where it's present as well, but I don't have a 3D Blu-ray player, so I can't confirm that, but I don't see why people would lie about something that specific. The lack of IMAX on the home media releases for most of the other Transformers films only makes the big screen edition of Revenge of the Fallen all that more special. I mean, even when the first 4 films were finally mastered and released on 4K Blu-ray, none of them were presented with their IMAX ratios. Even though Revenge of the Fallen already had a Blu-ray release with the IMAX ratio ready for a remaster and release on 4K, they still went with the standard theatrical ratio, which means that the 4K release of Revenge of the Fallen is inferior to a Blu-ray release that is over 10 years old. Honestly, if that doesn't make the big screen edition special, then I don't know how else to convince you. Surprisingly, a lot of films that are given IMAX releases in theaters are never actually released on Blu-ray with their IMAX ratio. Last year's No Time to Die, a film that was shot with IMAX cameras and was presented in IMAX cinemas in an IMAX ratio, did not have an IMAX ratio for its Blu-ray release, not even on the 4K disc. This is true for a lot of other modern films. Another big reason as to why the big screen edition of Revenge of the Fallen is special is because, as far as I know, and according to the internet, this was the second ever home media release to present a film in an IMAX ratio, with the first being The Dark Knight. So yeah, it was kind of a big deal then, and even now there aren't a lot of Blu-ray releases that present films in an IMAX ratio. Now, if you want to see the Revenge of the Fallen big screen edition for yourself, you'll have to resort to
eBay.
The Transformers Revenge of the Fallen big screen edition was released in a 2-disc special edition on DVD and Blu-ray in 2009. Annoyingly, the set was exclusive to Walmart in the US, which I'm sure was fine if you live in America and bought this back in 2009. If you live anywhere else, you're kinda fucked. It's hard enough tracking down copies of out-of-print Blu-rays in general, let alone ones that were never released in your country. To be concise, your home country will determine how hard it is for you to find the big screen edition on Blu-ray. And even then, you're at the mercy of the secondhand Blu-ray market. If you haven't already guessed from the accent, I live in Australia. Despite this, I got lucky and found a secondhand copy on eBay Australia for a crisp 10 Australian dollars. I don't know who went through the effort of importing this Blu-ray from the US to Australia in 2009, only to flog it off for $10 on eBay Australia 10 years later, but I am grateful to them. But if you can't find a Blu-ray or DVD copy, well then my friend, you will just have to resort to other means. You'll have to set sail on the high seas. You'll have to go browsing on the World Wide Web. You'll have to look for a MP4 or You can just fucking find it on Pirate Bay! Brave Blade Productions does not support or condone the actions of illegal pirating or obtaining films through methods other than their official release. Well, that's all I have to say about this special Blu-ray for a dumb movie from 2009. Although honestly, I found out upon rewatching this movie that I like this movie more than I remember. Like most of the other Transformers movies. It's fun, but at times it's also insufferable. If you want to hear me talk about a better Transformers movie, go check out my videos on the 1986 animated Transformers movie. If you want to see more videos like this, like the video and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.